All right, guys, what's up? It's Tim here at R1 Works, sitting next to team driver Jordan Yancey. He just finished doing the complete finished build of our DC1 drag car, putting all the components that you've seen throughout the past couple weeks being built and put it all together.
Yep.
Did you have fun doing it, Jordan?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Enjoy building these cars.
Hell yeah, I'm sure you're pretty pro at building this DC1 by now.
I'm all right.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go review it right now. Before we start doing that, guys, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel as well, so you don't miss out on any new future videos, because even when we're done with this DC1 build, we're gonna start showing you how to set up the electronics, how to deal with timing on the motor, and all the ESC settings that we have with our Wi-Fi as well. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into it.
So first, we're gonna start off actually installing the transmission riser with the transmission onto the chassis itself using 8mm countersunk screws. And I'm gonna put the front end onto the chassis as well. With this front end, the bulkhead, it keys into the chassis, so we're using the hose as far up as possible to get a longer wheelbase.
Have people tried the shorter wheelbase?
I believe with this bulkhead, it has to be in a further position. I can't remember exactly why, but I think it does have to be up there. But before this bulkhead, when we were using the AE bulkhead still, I was using it one hole back. So it's like, I think it was, I believe, a 13.5-inch wheelbase at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we're putting one of our injection molded bumpers on using 10 or 12mm countersunk screws. I can't not remember like that. Now we're moving on to the servo mount. With the servo mount, it's really one spot that it could go in out of all of those holes. So you'll see, and you'll use 10mm countersunk screws for that.
if I'm not mistaken, you can only use the low profile servo in there right now.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. Right now, you can only use a low profile servo, and if I'm not mistaken, it has to be a 360 degree servo as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Now this is our battery mount going in. It's a personal preference on how far, how forward or back you want it. For us, we like all the weight possible up front, so we're running it as far up as possible. And you can also turn it horizontally to get even more weight up front, just a little bit more.
How do you run it?
I run it horizontally.
Really?
As far as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. But I believe I'm the only one on the team that runs it
That way?
horizontally. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Now we're just putting these spacers in the shocks. There will be 6 of the larger spacers and 2 of the smaller ones. For the front shocks, you use 2 of the bigger ones for the top up there with the shock caps, and then 2 of the smaller ones for the shock eyelet in the front only. And the position that we're using for this video is in the lower on the arm. It'll be the middle hole in the front arms and inside on the shock tower. Now we're gonna put the rear shocks on. For the rear, we're using the inside hole in the shock tower and outside hole in the arms. I made a mistake by waiting to the last minute to put the body post on. It'll be easier if you put the body post on before you actually put the front and rear crossbar onto the shot towers, just so you don't have to get a weird angle when you're trying to bolt it down. I'm just hooking the front crossbar back up to the front riser. Now we're putting the body post on. There's a little set screw that'll go in there just to keep the body post in place. Make sure you do not forget that. Doing the same thing to the rear, just taking the crossbar off of the rear riser just so I could get a better angle to put the body post on. That's all. Now just putting the rear risers back onto the crossbar so the floating body mount can be complete again. Now it's time to put the front axle onto the steering knuckle. Started off by putting the bearings into the knuckles, and now we're just putting on the axle using a 6mm screw on the opposite side to keep it in place. Now it's time to do the turnbuckles. Same thing we did to the rear of the car. Gotta thread the ball cups. Just open up the hose a little bit more just for the turnbuckles that we're using in this video. I'm just finding the right length for the turnbuckles just to be able to get them on, and later we'll go to a setup station, or just some people eyeball it, but you know, they prefer the setup station. It's more precise.
Setup station do you guys like to use? It's such a long
It's so many out. You know, you have the Huddy. I want to say Sky RC makes one. I could be mistaken. You know, you got people making their own.
Yeah.
It's personal preference, really. I'm putting the ball studs on the outside hole in the C hub itself. And now we putting the last final ball studs into the shock tower. They will go into the top hose in the rear of the front shock tower. I'm just installing the turnbuckles now. Making sure everything is still free, which it is, so that's a good sign. Now you're putting the battery O-rings on with the hook. We use that to keep the battery in place. Now it's time to put the wheelie bar together. We'll be using the bearing carriers for the wheelie bar. These right here, we're using the bearings, and then like a little 1.5 shims will go in there, 2 on each side. Then we'll put the axle and wheel on there, and it's good to go once you bolt it down to the wheelie bar. and I'll be attaching the wheelie bar to the chassis itself right now. You can either put it on the top or the bottom. It really doesn't matter. It's just a personal preference, really. There's no right or wrong way for that.
Because we're using the R1 chassis itself and the carbon, we don't have to put that wheelie bar mount on, huh?
No, we do not. Yes, we do not need a wheelie bar mount, nothing. Just go straight to the chassis. Pretty much it. That's a DC1. Just mount wheels, tires, electronics, battery, servo, and yeah.
Well, here it is, guys. The finished car. It's all done. All of Jordan's hard work this past week or two. You know, it's all complete. I want to thank you guys so much for watching these videos that we've been doing on how to build the DC1 here at R1 Works. There'll be a lot of videos coming up, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And we'll see you at the track and see you next time, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.